As I'm sure you guys heard and seen, the 5.5 anniversary was a pretty huge deal in the CN side. And unexpected news that shocked a lot of players is the new character being introduced as a new rarity, LLR, the new Imelda, or as I like to call her, Icemelda. From artwork to her design, they really went crazy on the art design, making her feel special and unique than most of the cast. And I feel like they delivered big time, introducing the new Imelda. She will be part of the Empire, Strategy, and Time faction. Her talent increases her damage and isn't affected by melee penalty. At the end of action, she does a small AoE damage to 2 allies to apply a whip that can't be dispelled and lasts for 2 turns. Can be triggered again after 3 or 2 turns. After she attacks, she inflicts Chill, is what I'm gonna call it for short. That cannot be immunized or be dispelled. Chill makes it so that when it gets applied again, they get frozen, and when fighting Icemelda, their stats are reduced by 20% for 2 turns. When the enemy with Chill dies, the cooldown of her skills are reduced by 2. Whip is basically the SR version of Melda's 3C, that reaches 5 blocks for 2 turns, and Frozen lasts for 1 turn. I feel like AoE Rush is gonna be a lot more common now, thanks to her. She can completely shut down the opponents and enable 2 of her teammates to go crazy with damage. She can even apply that buff to herself, which you will get to see when we discuss her 3C. Her single target skill, if the target has Chill, she attacks first and melee soldiers can attack with her. If the enemy dies, then applies Chill to 2 enemies nearby. Her other unique skill does small AoE damage to a single target that can choose one of 2 types of displacement effects. She can pull herself to the target that cannot be immune, and moving is considered flying. The second option pulls the target towards her, buff duration doesn't go down, and can act again. Her 3C has a passive that lets her be immune to her talent buff when it's used on her, and increases her attack and int for 2 turns after using it. It's an AoE that teleports her and 3 nearby allies with Whip to the farthest skill range while applying the ice cold terrain for 1 turn randomly. If an enemy moves to it, they take fixed damage and gains Chill. If a non-flying enemy moves to it, they will use up an additional mobility, then the skill gets replaced. The other skill has the same passive. It's also an AoE that attacks 3 blocks around her, that applies the same terrain, but gets a command called Abyss Inferno, where enemies within 3 blocks cannot act again. The command effect lasts for 2 turns and then gets replaced. Even though just by using Whip on her teammates, she buffs herself up. The reason why you give it to her despite that is for the extra crit. She'll always need that 1 turn to set up for her 2 teammates, which is something that you really want to do because it's an insane buff. So you do that, and then you have her move first so that she can shut down the opponents. It's really unbelievable that a 3C, the most powerful arsenal, simply gets put in as a talent. AoE Rush is my favorite thing to do, it's like my favorite strategy, so you can bet that I'm really excited for her. And of course, the aesthetics, the design that goes behind these LLR characters. There will be 4 new equips from the Battle Pass. The weapon is a bow. Before battle, if the target HP is above 80%, then the defense is reduced by 30% for 1 turn. Quite the huge chunk. I can imagine this being like a somewhat second best in slot, like right behind the Crystal Stinger. Could be something to put on Nemia if you don't have it. The armor, if at 50% or more HP, 8% into defense and magic defense, but below 50%, then 8% HP is healed. Oh wait, this is for mages. Oh man, that is like kind of a huge deal. The armor choices really suck, and seeing that this armor is like not half bad, makes it not a bad choice. The helmet, I heard about it and I seen some stuff about it, so I'm pretty curious. If there are no enemies within 2 blocks, gain skill damage and AoE damage buff for 1 turn. Ooh. Yeah, seeing how AoE comp could be a lot more common now thanks to Icemelda just helps enable them to do more damage. Definitely a coincidence that this dropped right beside Imelda, who is more AoE focused. Totally a coincidence. The accessory gives all stats increase, gets immunity to 1 weakening effect, and restores 20% HP if it triggers that cannot be dispelled. Honestly, could not be that bad for some sustained power. Could be an option if you don't have the Overlords or Sorted Metal. Right after that, we have only 1 exclusive for Roland. When switching forms, his buffs does not go down if having convergence. If he does not do any damage, then he gets +2 mobility for 1 turn. If he has Scorching Flare, he can move 2 blocks after attacking. Pretty good. Still doesn't really make up for how abysmal his skill sets are. With the casting skills, first is for IBC. When the number of allies is less than 2, she can use the Erase skill, which most likely refers to her talent buff. The only thing that has me confused is if we can choose what she does, or maybe she gets bolt? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it means on first glance. Second is for Oldius. He does more damage with the normal attack, really? And heals allies on his terrain. Huh. Third is for Zerida. At the end of action, if she does not have any soldiers, she can act again and gets +3 mobility. This can trigger every 2 turns. That changes a whole lot for her. Her main issue is the amount of turns that she needs to set up, and her 3C makes her very obvious to avoid. So with this huge and improved upgrade, she won't take too long to set up, and is more threatening now that she can just go in whenever she wants. Fourth is Iris. Her healing effect is increased from her talent, I think? And I think her 3C gets an additional effect to dispel 2 debuffs. Iris is such an amazing SR character, like as a healer. Too bad that we may not ever get her again. For some of the interesting banners, a custom banner that goes up to Nemir and Andriel, a custom equipment banner, Z2 and Grand Shield Raid Up banner, a Destiny banner with 8 on Camel, and another with Lightbringer. CN had a Valentine banner that includes Meriendo, Werner, Zusa and Obero, Roland and Precia, then Rosen and Clotaire. As expected, Weham, Awakener, Apotheosis returned as expected. As for the content that CN got, a share event, a buyable hero bag that goes up to Patricia and Goon, also a buyable equipment bag that goes up to the OP Winged accessory, the battle pass that has the 4 new equipment, a new building that's for decoration, an event where you collect the item by doing the Sacred Realm stages and exchange them for rewards, a Chinese New Year login event, this crystal spending event to get the Elwyn and Leanna skin, and many more rewards, a triple Gate of Fate, so we can farm shards 27 times a day. That lasts for 2 weeks. Yeah, you guys heard that right. Honestly, never thought they would do something like this, but they did. Before CN got this, they had the normal Gate of Fate that lasts for 2 weeks. All stage unlocked for the Anarchy and casting even more value from the Exploding City, extra Secret Realm rewards, and better daily missions. They had the New Year Joint Battle event. This update took place around January to February. Magic Tower Conquest, a farmable event to get materials to exchange it for rewards. This event does feature Icemelda in the story if you're curious about that. If you guys had ever complained about the enchant system being hot garbage, which it is, I'm here to tell you guys that Zong Games has heard our complaints and gave us this Rune Workshop. On the left side, you are able to craft a weapon, armor, and helmet of your choice. It only has some of them, and you cannot craft any accessories, unfortunately. You can only do it one time because of this scroll, which you get by using stamina and to get even more rewards. Back to the main menu, the right side, clicking on this empty page will show your equips. Selecting one of them will give you an option to pick an enchant that you want. Once you picked one, you'll be given 3 enchant stats of your choice. The top focuses on bulk, middle focuses on the best stats per int, and the bottom focuses on the best attack stats. Once you select what you prefer, the next menu, you may be confused as to what happened to all those stats. Well, those stats that you saw earlier are the best that you're gonna get from here. And to actually get what you saw, you need these blue dice to increase the value of those stats to get what you saw before. So yeah, it's not gonna give you the perfect enchant, but it's a lot of value regardless. It's like 80 to somewhat 90% perfect. You're selecting what you want and you know what kind of roll that you get. And a fresh reminder that it only lasts for the update period, and it'll only be on one equipment, so make sure that you plan what you really want. For the skins that they got, Echo Light for Icemelda and a new soldier skin for the fairies. These soldier skins come with the Echo Light. They also added a new avatar frame with the new title card. They probably knew it wasn't good enough, so they added a few extra stuff. But hey, even the Echo Light has like background art too. In the store, the Chinese New Year skins for both Edon Kelmo and Awakener, and Season 17 champion skin for Obero. Pretty cool. I think it kind of resembles like a dragon. Edon Kelmo definitely triggers some neurons. Not mine though, because I'm a man of sheer will. Unless it's Angelina we're talking about. Season 18 gold skin for Roga. And I couldn't find anything about what the soldier skin looks like in silver tier sadly. At least Roga's skin is pretty sick. In the event, you spend 1 crystal to earn this Elwyn skin. And nearly 40,000 crystals for this Leanna skin. They went with that 1990 kinda sorta anime art style, which I'm kinda surprised they haven't done more like that. They did it with Young Jessica and Amelia, which was an Echo Light, but it's almost 40 grand just for this Leanna skin. When last time, I think it was barely like almost 30k for her summer skin. That's asking a lot. Lastly, a martial artist skin for Polly. They even brought out a ton, and I mean a ton, of returning skins, which I'm not gonna show because there's way too many to list. Basically, whatever you can think of, they had it. Alright, so that was at least most of everything that CN got in this 5.5 anniversary. One of the biggest updates that we ever had due to LLR being a big deal. Icemelda will definitely be a top tier character to use, providing one of the best offensive buffs while giving the opponents a hard time playing the game. The Rune Workshop is also a big deal, seeing as how enchants are incredibly brutal. It could be a thing every anniversary. Not sure how they plan to go about with this one, but I think it would be really nice. Not really a broken system. They make it so that it's good enough. Like the value you get from it is really good, but like not 100%, you know? You're not getting 5, 15, 15%. But that's all I got. If you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and feel free to let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about Icemelda or anything about this half anniversary. So yeah, thanks for watching. Your fellow Z.